Right guys, welcome to AutoBarn episode 3. Now we're continuing the AutoBarn theme for this episode because what AutoBarn's about is fixing the cars and working on the cars, and although the Integra is here, got the Integra down here at the weekend, behind every good track car and drift car or whatever like that, there's a good daily, and at the minute the daily is not that good. But today, what I've got in my hand here, look, is a tandem pump rebuild kit. And that's got every seal, new screws, got the metal seal onto the block, it's got the internal rubber seals for the tandem pump as well. It's a kit for a look pump, which mine is. We found out that in the previous video, we found out we've got a look pump, so I've got a look rebuild kit. Hopefully this will cure a starting issue. If not, it's one thing down. And like I said, I've got an issue with the vacuum as well, which we're going to be fixing with some chemical metal. So this is what we're going to be using to fix the... Oh, go on focus. So that's what we're going to be using to hopefully seal up that vacuum leak. I know it was quite hard to see when it's on the car, but when I get everything off, I'll show you again. It'll probably make more sense then. Temperature in here currently is 1 above freezing. It's 1 degree, so I've got no reason to complain. Let's get this done. Need to get the tandem pump off first. It's going to be a bit of a mission. I think it's nice just having the Integra just sat there. It's pretty cool, right? But it's an Audi day. So let's begin. So the tandem pump, as you saw, is this barrier down here. It's right at the back of the engine. We need to take kind of most of this assembly off so we can get to it. Starting the car afterwards is going to be a struggle. I don't want to waste your time watching me take this off because it's going to be a pain in the arse. I'm not looking forward to it, I just want to get it off. So, catch you in a sec. Okay, that didn't actually take as long as what I thought it would. I probably could have videoed all that, but see, this tandem pump is off. And look at the state of it. It's just full of grease and it just looks filthy. There's diesel all over it everywhere. Hopefully that's an indication that seals aren't doing the job properly. Another thing that happened when I was taking it off, do you remember I showed you that vacuum hose that was loose before? You can just get that in focus. Look, the actual hose just fell off when I was taking it off. That's still attached obviously on the hose clamp. So yeah, that's pretty broken. There's just 4 bolts that hold the tandem pump on. There's 2 at the top, which are 6mm head Allen keys. There's these 2 at the bottom as well, which are 5mm head Allen bolts. And they are absolute twats to get to. One of them's not too bad, but I think it's... I can't remember which one it is, but one of them's not too bad, and the other one is ridiculously bad. And yeah, the problem is there's a coolant pipe behind it, like a hard metal coolant pipe, and you're trying to get your Allen socket in at a slight angle, and obviously then you're going to be rounding the head off, and it's a bit of a pain to get to that one. If you've done one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a pain in the ass. But it's off, so let's strip it down. There's a workbench over in the corner. I'm going to go and strip this down, have a look inside, replace all the gaskets. It's going to be good. Right, I'm not too sure what the best way of doing this is, to be honest. I don't really want to touch the camera often because I'm going to be touching diesel quite often and dirty stuff. So I don't really want to be touching the camera if I can avoid it. So I'm going to try this. And I might look a bit silly, but it might work, and it might work really well. How do I look? Are we good? So I would say I want to strip this down, but you know, I want you guys to see it as well because I think it's going to be quite interesting what's in here. Now I do hope to get a bench just like this eventually over in the corner. That would be nice. There's the old gasket. We've got a new one of these, so we can take this off. A little clip on the side. It's pretty nice to keep it held on. There we go. There's the old gasket off for the back. So these screws that I'm doing at the minute are T30 Torx 30, and yeah, it seems to be coming out all right. Waste of time. Tell you what we can do. So these are 1/4 inch drivers. Now I do intend to hopefully get a vise when I get one of these benches myself. I want to get a big old vise on there. It's been a bit of a dream for me. I know it might sound a bit sad to dream about having a vise, but I would like to have a big table like this with a vise on it. That'd be cool. Made in England, of course. So the external gasket, I mean there was no leaks from this plate anyway, so I mean seeing the external gasket's in good condition is fine. Do we just carry on doing stuff, do you think? I want to do this next. I want to do the seal between the fuel pump and the vacuum pump. That's what I want to do next. Hello, sir. Okay, I think the next thing I'm going to do is just clean this area up and get some chemical metal on there so that this can be drying whilst we're doing the other sections with the seals and stuff. Right, so all I'm doing now is just cleaning all the old sealant away from this nozzle. I don't know what you call it. It's whether it's the fitting, like the full fitting's broken. Can you see how it's turned? It shouldn't turn. It is broken. So anyway. Right now, as you can see, I've got the end of this vacuum fitting all nice and clean now. So what we're going to do is apply some chemical metal around the edges, and hopefully that'll stop it spinning around and losing its vacuum. I've just used brake cleaner really to clean it up with. That's all you need to use. Well, that's all I'm hoping I need to use, but let's find out. Okay, that'll do for me. All the holes sealed up. Okay, there we go. So we've got some chemical metal on there now. I'm going to leave that to set. Should only take 5 minutes or so. Okay, things have progressed slightly since we last spoke, and it's looking more and more like this may never go back together. But I'm going to persevere through and yeah, see what happens. It's getting a bit spicy, let's say. Okay, I had to get a bit creative then to get these bolts out. This one came out alright. They're all T20 Torx bits, but you can't really tell there, but it's actually bent. The bit, all the lines on the bit are bent. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but yeah, this one I managed to get out alright. Just about managed to get it cracked off, but the other two, as you can see, I had to slit with an angle grinder and then use a big old flathead on a socket to get them out. So you know, I kind of caught the assembly slightly there and there with the angle grinder, but oh well, hopefully it's not important. I think it's just a plate that goes on the outside. Aha, that's what those two springs are for then. That makes more sense. It's like a rotary. It's a rotary fuel pump, eh? Look at that. Oh!
Fatality.
Shit. Okay, the spring just went flying. Oh, what did I do there? Okay. Luckily we've got spare springs and this bit of metal came out. I've got no idea what it was. I can't see any seals in there, guys. And I kinda don't really want to be taking much more of it apart. I mean, it's pretty cool that it's wankle and everything, but look at that. Rotary fuel pump. I'm amazed. I feel like there should be a seal kind of behind that. Aha! There we go. And there it is. There's the main seal between the two. So we found it in the end. There we go. So there's the old seal. Nice. There's the new seal. Nicer. That was just somewhat interesting to watch. Pretty interesting for me to do, but I don't know if it'll make a decent video or not. We'll have to find out. I'm going to use a socket and a hammer to tap it in. Just a little tap, don't worry. It's looking good. Right, that's changed. Let's get all this back together while we can still remember how it goes fucking back together. That already feels a lot stronger to get through anyway than the other one was. I'll just rebuild the wankle side. Right, be right back. This is fiddly as fuck, so I'm just going to try and get these springs back in, get this plate back on, and then I'll meet you back in a sec. Right, I got the wankle air pump, fuel pump thing back together. I had to reuse the bolts. Look, the bad bolts, I had to reuse them because the kit, although it comes with a lot of new bolts, it didn't come with new bolts for these. But the main seal's changed, so that's good. It's all back together. Was a bit worried that I wouldn't be able to get this part done, but yeah, it seems to have worked alright, cutting the heads and using a flathead. There's a couple more seals that we need to look at on the other side. We'll have a quick look at them now. But yeah, it's coming back together now. Hopefully this will sort the car out. It's been interesting, also quite worrying, but it's been good. Let's carry on. Okay, we're done. Tandem pump rebuilt by me, so it might not work again, but we're going to find out shortly. All we need to do now is reattach this to the engine with the new rear gasket that goes on the side of the cylinder head. So yeah, let's get that installed, get all the fuel pipes hooked up, the chemical metal's dried now, so that's all good. Yeah, let's just put it back together, put it on the car and see if it works. I don't know. The wankle thing, you know, the thing with the triangles, that was quite cool to see. And hopefully I've put it back together because I'm not too sure. But let's go put it on the car and find out. That was just about one of the most frustrating things I think I've done. Just trying to get the two bolts at the bottom of the tandem pump back in. Incredibly fiddly, incredibly frustrating. And seems to be a bit of theme with Southerners at the minute to make videos of themselves swearing at the cars, which I don't think that's a good way to be a good YouTuber. So I didn't film myself doing it because it was frustrating. I didn't swear at the car because obviously I'm not a child. I just got on with it, but it took a while, so that's where I've been. Okay, it's time to start the Audi off, to try and start the Audi. With having the fuel pump off, it's always going to be a bit of a twat to start back up afterwards, even with a bit of a temperamental fuel system like I've got, which hopefully I haven't got anymore, but we'll see. It's going to be a bit of a twat to start, so. Now I am aware you shouldn't use brake cleaner to start an engine, and I wouldn't advise doing it. I did a bit of Googling to see if this was alright, because I've run out of Easy Start, and I've got no way of getting to the shop, because I'm here on my own. And as you can see, the other two cars aren't quite mobile at the minute, so I'm going to have to use brake cleaner to start the car. Apparently it can fuck up the timing, or it'll advance the timing running it on this, and maybe the engine will blow up, I don't know. Let's find out. I need to get the engine started, so here we go, some more bodging. Just ignore the loud knocking noises that you just heard. They're normal. Right, while that's warming up, I'm just going to put the rest of the engine back together, and I'll catch you in 5 minutes. Hopefully the car's still running and we can do some tests, see if it starts back up after I turn it off. So it'll continue to idle fine now for as long as I've left it about 15 minutes idling, it's been fine. But then when it comes to either putting some load on the engine with some revs, or it comes to, I bet if we tried to drive it anywhere, it just cut out. Don't know, strange. I'll give it a rev now just to show you what I mean. Ta-da! So it'll happily idle now for, like I say, as long as you want. It'll just keep idling away. So it's obviously getting the fuel in to some extent, and then just deciding it doesn't want to have fuel anymore or something, I don't know. I'm going to leave it a bit longer, tidy up some of my stuff, and then try it again, I guess. Right, it's now been about probably 2 hours since I last videoed. It's 7:30. I got here at 12 today. So yeah, I've been here quite a while in the cold. So if I look a little bit run down, I am. So I've been pissing about with the car for ages trying to get it running. And it would run fine, idle fine, if you started it with brake cleaner. Wouldn't start itself, but then it'd idle fine. I had it idling for up to about 20 minutes at one point. Then what would happen is if you tried to rev the car or just put any load on it through the engine, it would take it for a while, a couple of maybe 30 seconds max. It would take it, and then it would just cut out again, and then wouldn't restart without the brake cleaner. When I did the fuel filter, it did this really bad. I had to leave the car overnight because I couldn't get it started last time. But I've stayed with it today, and I keep starting it up, letting it rev for a bit. Was getting nowhere, so I ended up getting it started, getting it running for a bit, and then just kind of matting the throttle for a few seconds. So it was right on the red line for a few seconds, which obviously sounded pretty bad, but I was a bit like, what can I lose here? As I've said before, the car's not really worth a lot to anyone. As much as I'd rather have it working as a nice car and everything, I think it's a bit past that. But with that said, after all this fucking about, it looks like I might be somewhere now. So hopefully when I go and start the car now, it'll start straight up. But let's find out. Okay, so it seems happy. I don't think this was related to the tandem pump thing that we've done today. I think this is just whenever I seem to touch anything to do with the fuel, this seems to happen. So no warning lights. I've read all the codes. There's no new codes or anything. Just very strange. I guess I'll see how I get on now with this tandem pump. I need to take it for a drive and stuff, but I say it's really cold, and yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. So ending on a bit of a, I don't know if this video has been any good or not. I don't know if the angles earlier worked. I don't know. I've not looked back at them yet. So if it has worked, it's still not going to be a good video because I'm not real happy with this, to be honest. Right, I'll update you tomorrow. See how it starts in the morning. Right, this is a quick update to yesterday's video. I spent a lot of time at the AutoBarn yesterday fixing the Audi, or should I say playing with the Audi. I did get a bit frustrated towards the end, and I think that shows in the video, so I've just been editing now, and I thought, God, didn't I have to get a bit glum towards the end, but yeah, I was pretty glum towards the end. I was pretty frustrated that I couldn't get the car started again. I think, looking back, I'm guessing it was just a lot of air in the fuel system. Obviously the tandem pump was dry when I put it back on, and you know, I tried everything I could think to prime it properly, because it should be a self-bleeding system. So I tried, you know, turning the ignition on and off several times, or up to about 20 times at one point, just flicking it on and off and seeing if that would do it, and You know, if I'd had some better tools, maybe I could have used some kind of vacuum suction to like suck fuel through the lines, or, you know, I could have used some kind of, if I was a proper mechanic, let's say, I probably would have had the tool to properly bleed the fuel system before fucking about like that. It took me about around 3 hours messing around with the brake cleaner, and it sounds so horrible when it starts in the brake cleaner as well, because now apparently when you start it on brake cleaner it doesn't lubricate the engine properly. That's why you can hear a bit of knocking to start with. It sounds real savage on the camera. It doesn't sound that savage in real life, but it is still not a nice sound at all. But I mean, that was the first startup just then. It's 3.5 degrees C currently, so it's a bit warmer than yesterday. But although it didn't start first time, it did start pretty well then, to be fair. I think I'm just gonna have to monitor this over the next couple of days, see how I get on. I say it's still idling now, it's running fine. Seems okay, I guess. Right, so that's all from AutoBarn episode 3. Hope it's been interesting to watch. The head cam was quite fiddly to get edited, so hopefully it comes out okay-ish. Hopefully it adds to the video somewhat. Right, so that brings us to the end of AutoBarn episode 3. As I've said, these videos aren't tutorials. I'm just kind of vlogging my way through bodging my cars, and I hope it's somewhat interesting to watch. If you've enjoyed it, let me know. If you've not enjoyed it, then I don't know, there's plenty of other people you can watch on YouTube. I was thinking earlier, there's a lot of people on YouTube fixing cars, and they show you how to do it, and they show you how to do it perfectly correct, and they give you all the information you need. And then there's kind of people on YouTube like me who just give you the experience of just having a go and seeing what happens, and I hope that's come through on this video, because I had no idea what I was doing with that tandem pump. I found it interesting. Like, personally, I found it really interesting, and I kind of wish I wasn't doing the video so that I could get really in deep with it. And you'll notice there are a few times where I stop video and just have a play, and yeah, it was cool. Looking at the inside and trying to work out how it all goes together and how it does the job what it's designed to do. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Probably going to be doing some Integra stuff, if not E36 wheel preparation. Probably Integra stuff, maybe both. Maybe I'll just compile it into one video, who knows. I'll see you then.